I think they're completely separate entities. In fact, today, sitting in my class, distracting myself, I came up with only 8 things in common and 27 things that are not in common with these two books. It was astounding. I was like, I'm supposed to be studying Victorian literature right now, but I'm going to be analyzing Hunger Games and Battle Royale. But no, I mean, they're on the surface. There are two main characters, a male and a female. In this case, Battle Royale, the male is much more pronounced. There's more backstory about him than the female. She's sort of, I don't know, what do you call her, a figurehead. She's not a very strong person in comparison to Picktainment. But no, they're completely and utterly different.
No, great, and I think that's maybe you can publish. We can post somewhere later in the week your list.
My list
that you assembled of similarities.
Well, I'm really curious to see Rebekah's list because I also made a list and I only found 7 similarities myself.
You really? I found 8. Oh, I'll read.
And I'm wondering. I really want to see if our similarities match up.
Shall I read off my 8? I'll read off my 8.
Are your similarities similar? That's the question. Yeah, go ahead. Read off your 8 quickly.
Okay. Children forced to fight to the death. Yeah.
Yes.
Male and female main characters.
Yes.
Isolated environment.
Yes.
All-powerful game maker, because I don't know what you call the teacher. I only saw the film. I didn't read the book. Social upheaval helped in creating the game. Clear enemies within the game. Violent. Both main characters make it out alive. And then, I got 9. Okay, I wrote that one on the side of the page. Change the zones, but only if you compare Catching Fire to Battle Royale.
Right.
That's what I got.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say...
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say really quickly, I think this is just one of the most absurd arguments ever. The people that say that Suzanne Collins, plagiarized material from Battle Royale, it's just ridiculous. I mean, she's gone on record so many times discussing the classical inspiration for the Hunger Games, which mainly consists of the story of King Minos of Crete and, what happened with Athens and the Minotaur and all of that, and you should check out that story if you don't know about it. But, it's anyway, I just wanted to go on record myself as saying that this argument is just absurd.
Yeah, I remember it was in a New York Times article, wasn't it? Or one of those.
Right, and I think someone asked her about it finally, and she's like...
And she said that her publisher said, I don't want you to read that book because I don't want that world in your head.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think J.K. Rowling ripped off of J.R.R. Tolkien, too, because they both have wizards in it.
Totally, and she
like,
totally ripped off
how far
the Wizard of Oz.
Right, exactly. I mean, how can you, there's going to be some similarity in stories, and I don't mean to be so partisan, but you can tell that I'm staunchly in the, leave Suzanne Collins and Hunger Games alone on this issue. But I want to get an opinion from our other 2 experts on Battle Royale who called in, the husband and wife team. That would be Todd and Kim. So let's get your opinions. You've been listening to people spout on about this. What are your thoughts? Whichever one of you wants to start first.
I'll go first, and I wouldn't consider myself an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I'll try my best. When I first read these books not too long ago, the first thing I did think of was Battle Royale, because I had seen Battle Royale a couple of years ago when I was in college. But even though they did have, I guess, a very macro level, a similar idea, battles to the death on an island, dystopian society, I think that, like everyone else is saying, they are very different. There's a whole different, I think, idea of revolution and kind of overthrow in the Hunger Games that isn't present in Battle Royale. think that the undercurrent of Revolution and Katniss being a hero kind of isn't really represented as much in Battle Royale. And don't get me wrong, it's not that Battle Royale is so devoid of emotion and just blood and battle and guts, because it's not. There's also, still moments between the characters that exist in the Hunger Games as well. But I just think that Battle Royale is, I just think a totally different idea. So.
Okay, so I'll go now. I'll try to follow that up. Neither one of us have read Battle Royale, the book, so both of our comments are, based on the movie. But for me, Adam, I think you'll remember when you and I started talking about Hunger Games, via email, I said to you, have you ever heard of this Japanese film called Battle Royale? That was all I could think about, this battle to the death. And having read all 3 books now and reflecting back, for me, I didn't feel anything with Battle Royale. It was just blood and guts, and I didn't feel like there was a purpose to it at all. And
exactly.
It just was, this massive, everyone got these crazy weapons. And I remember, watching the movie, and, one girl, was, had her collar explode, and her head just, exploded. And I'm, watching, I'm what is this? I don't understand the purpose of the underlying, meaning of what this all is about. And I feel like one of my favorite things about the Hunger Games is all of the layers that are within the book. You have the layers of the characters, in conflict with themselves and in conflict with their friends and family, and the district's conflicts between each other, and then the conflicts with the Capitol, and then you have, all the people in the arena battling against each other and conflicting with the type of people that they are outside of the arena versus who they have to be within the arena to survive. And it's, I feel like you can get so much more out of Hunger Games than you can with Battle Royale.
And don't get me wrong, I know that the whole point of, a lot of sometimes Japanese influence in movies is to make things kind of over the top and gory. Kind of like what happened, in the first Kill Bill. I think that they took a lot of inspiration in that way. And, clearly not having read the book, you do miss a lot of the subtleties that are there, and a lot of the character interaction that is probably definitely, in Battle Royale in the book, and just maybe not present in the movie. But I still think that I would imagine that Hunger Games has a little bit more of that humanity to it.
The last thing I wanted to say about Hunger Games, too, is, and I really have to give credit to someone on Twitter, Derek Jackson82, who mentioned the, major issue with how Suzanne Collins deals with reality TV and how, the whole Hunger Games are filmed and broadcasted and shown, and it's this big thing that everybody watches, and, the people from the outside can contribute and give sponsor gifts, whereas Battle Royale is completely closed off. It's not broadcast. And I remember watching the end of Battle Royale, and, they, had, a clip in it of other people who had won previous, and, everyone's waiting for who comes off the island, and there's all camera crews and all that kind of stuff. And I think it was a really interesting, juxtaposition where you have this major battle, and you're, videotaping it and showing it to people. I thought that was interesting, her, dissertation on reality TV and in our world and what it's become to our society.
Yeah, I agree.
No,
in fact,
definitely.
they don't have any video footage inside the Battle Royale, quote-unquote, arena at all. They just have audio, and in fact that, I don't want to spoil it, but that actually kind of plays, a key role in the storyline. The lack of video, I should say, and the presence of audio.